All right, let's get rocking and rolling. I Man, we had a lot of people. We had a lot of people yesterday. We'll see how many people come back. I have a good self-image, so I'm not going to let it hurt my self-image. Um, let's make sure I got. Test 1, 2. Okay. Let's try that setting. Yeah, I know, 57. Is that crazy? Almost 60 people. Oh man, I'm dragging today. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I stayed up really late last night hanging out with my wife's a night owl. She stays up till like 4 in the morning. And man, I just can't handle it when I stay up as long as her. Then she gets up at like noon or 1 p.m. Who does that, man? Except my wife. I don't know if there's any night owls out there like her, but like out there like you, like her. But so hey, good news, man. We're fired up. Jenny had her last chemo. So get fired up, man. Jenny got her last chemo treatment today. You know, so she's, I guess you would say she's fired up, except, you know, the after effects of chemo get pretty severe over the next like 3-4 days. And then it's, you know, over time it subsides. But hey, man, your last one, she got to ring the bell 3 times. So, you know, any of y'all that been through cancer and chemo, you know what that's about. And mass victory. So very fired up. So I'm really excited. I'm proud of how she's been able to get through that all. So anyway, all right, more people are showing up. That's good. Yes. Amen, man. Big victory. God is great. So we've been very blessed. We've been having a lot of great, man, just got a lot of love, man. So if you friended me on Facebook, you saw I put up a video of her ringing the bell 3 times. So that was just really cool. I've been with her at every chemo treatment. And you know, what a great business. How like this, where I could be with my wife when she's going through, you know, 2.5 to 3 hours of chemo, and I'm right there with her. And I kind of look at some of the other people going through chemo, and they got nobody with them. And so I count myself very blessed. And man, you guys, you're in a great business where you can do those things where you're not tied to a stupid job, and you can have the flexibility of being there for your family when they really need you. And you're not having to be at work with the boss because the boss needs you more and you want to keep your stupid job. So you got to do what the boss says, man. You're the boss now. You're the boss of you. So I love the business for that. And what a great business this is. So welcome back for part 2. So tomorrow I have the time, so I might just do another session 9 to 11, and we'll talk about building the business, I think. So I think maybe we'll do like a 3-part boot camp, but I think we'll do that. I'll confirm. So by now, all of you probably had an opportunity. Which companies do not cover cancer? Well, just kind of depends. They all have some level of covering cancer, especially the whole life products. The guaranteed issue products like AIG and Great Western will cover cancer. So anyway, all right, cool. So today we're going to cover part 2, which is the sales side, okay? The phone script and getting into the home. And remember the idea that I was really after doing these boot camps. I'm going to do this every week. So every week I'm hopefully going to get more refined. We'll be a little bit more organized. I might have you do, not you, but new students do a little bit more pre-work so that, you know, we don't get bogged down too much. Although I got a lot of comments. People really, appreciated being able to go through how to do an e-app and all the meticulous things that you had to do. And, man, it's just how it is. But again, in the spirit of trying to get you out in the field like this week, we're trying to cram the simple things, okay? So I'm just trying to give you the basic tools so you can go out there and just kind of go out there at the basics, okay? Really kind of the basic fundamentals. So what I'm going to start off with, I'm going to tie up some loose ends on product. Okay, so here's kind of the the thing yesterday was to really help you write a policy on yourself. I want you to have your own policy, which that policy I told you about, the one I wrote December 24th, 1999, this is it, baby. Fidelity and guaranteed life. Home certain. This is the policy. It's so cool. I am so like, man, you never forget your first policy on yourself. Oh man. Wow. So here are my notes. All right. So I really wanted you to write a policy on yourself, but let me kind of give you the statistics of the types of policies you're going to write. Like in my organization, my hierarchy, you're going to probably write, half your policies are probably going to be whole life policies. About 20 to 25% are going to be the policy we looked at yesterday, the simplified issue term policies. So basically 75%, 50% of, okay, 50% is whole life, 25, let's say 25% is the simplified issue term. And then the final 25% are all the cats and dogs, accidental benefit, universal life, index universal life, etc. So really, you're going to write twice the more policies in whole life than you are simplified issue term, okay? So whatever. The CFG whole life process is as simple, if not more simple, than the term. You just have to do the exact same thing. You go to alliancequoting.com, right? And you go through all the stuff there that you did for the term is also there for the whole life, okay? So Columbian Financial Group, Dignified Choice is the whole life product. And you can do exactly the same thing. The underwriting is actually a little bit easier. The whole application is about the underwriting, whether or not the person can get it. The quoting tool is pretty cool because you can type in the medications, and the medications will dictate, what quoting option to use. Okay, so so I would, do your homework and go through the whole life product in much the same way we did the term. And then if you have any questions, just give me a call and, we can kind of go over it. But I do have some great videos on it. Again, going back to that bootcamp material, in fact, let's open that and kind of show you some of those other product places that you can reference. Okay. All right, so let's go to abnfinancial.com. And then again, it's not a link. I might throw a link in there, but the link to get to the backup material for all this stuff is Bootcamp material. So this site has the products we talked about, the CFG simplified issue term. Then here's a whole life product. the quoting tool, how to use it. There's a video on how to use it right there. And then here's a guaranteed issue whole life. So these are some of your reference reference material for those products. And then if you're in a state that doesn't write CFG, we can't write CFG. If you keep scrolling down, as I mentioned, you got this, the Forster's. Okay. Did not want to do that. Actually clicked on a link. So here's the Forrester's Strong Foundation Mortgage Term, the Forrester's Plan Right, and then Transamerica Whole Life, right? So all that stuff's here for you to take advantage of. So again, let me emphasize again that I'm going to help you. I'm going to vector you based on after you've booked the appointment. The most important thing you can do is book the appointment. Okay. Now I want you guys to write this down. I hope you're going to take notes because I want you to take notes on this next thing. And I want you to know where these notes are because you're going to run into situations. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the check down list, situational check down list of what product will be appropriate in a situation. It's kind of like, you know, the play is designed to be a seven-step drop back, and your receiver's going on a flat pattern because you're going to get the sucker in the end zone, okay? But if he's covered, then you got to check down to the guy that's doing a down and out, okay? Or let's see, fly pattern. So you got your tight end going over the middle, kind of in line. And then you got your back coming out of the backfield. So you got like check one, check two, check down to your, okay, the check down list. So I'm going to give you this check down list. I need you to write this down and put it where you can reference it. This is going to be really quick. So let's rock. Okay. So let's go first by lead, the type of lead. Oh, you know what? It's a hellacious marker to clean up. So you got a mortgage protection lead. Okay. This is someone that sends in looking to protect their mortgage. Okay. So basically what we're going to start out thinking, the checklist, check down. First check down is simplified issue term. Either the CFG simplified issue term, Safe Shield, okay. Either CFG Safe Shield or Forrester Strong Foundation, okay. Now, if they don't fit into the age range, if they don't fit into the underwriting, like if they can't fit into because they have a heart problem, then the next check down is whole life, a whole life product. And typically what you're going to do with whole life, because you know the max I think for is 350,000 and they got a big mortgage, whole life you know the most you can get is like 40,000. And the client is not they might be, they're probably going to be disappointed they can't cover the whole thing, but because of their health you can't do the whole thing. So you're going to have to do whole life under the mortgage payment protection scenario. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay, but that's what they can get into. So that's why you got to be good at whole life. Sometimes you're going to get a mortgage protection lead submitted by a 70-year-old, 75-year-old, and then you got to figure out, man, what do I do for that guy, right? Oh, by the way, man, I hope you're not on one device. I hope you're not watching me on just your phone. I put this in the prep instructions now. Well, I mean, actually today is probably not, it's probably okay today. Yesterday with the product training, it's hard to be on just like your phone and I mean, you really ought to have had your tablet or your laptop and your smartphone separate. Like watching me on a laptop, then you can doodle on your smartphone. That would have been like a better scenario. So again, we're going to be more prepared as we keep doing this. So mortgage protection lead, simplified issue term. If you can't do that, whole life. And if they're really sick, we're going to do guaranteed issue whole life. Okay, this would be the Great Western Insurance Company or AIG. So that's the check down list for mortgage protection. Simplified issue term, whole life, then guaranteed issue whole life. Final expense is how we kind of, that's the sort of the symbol for final expense. Kind of like Phoenix is PHX. We're now landing in final expense lead, okay? So this is, final expense is very basic, very simple. Right away, we're just looking at whole life, a whole life policy, and then we'll check down to great guaranteed issue whole life if they can't handle it. Here's the other, okay, going into situational. Guest area. I'm not sure what you're asking about the guest area. What's the password for the guest area? Guest area to what? Anyway, well, let's just, okay, simply final expense, whole life or guaranteed issue whole life. You got a new marriage lead. It can be either one, man. Simplified issue term or whole life or universal life. New marriage. Okay, height and weight. So this is situational. So these are leads, this is situational. If they are morbidly obese and their height and weight won't, you know, if you can't do, they have a height and weight problem where you can't do simplified issue term, they're too heavy for whole life. Okay, there is a company, you don't have to go directly to guaranteed issue whole life. You can go to Transamerica, because Transamerica, age 45 to 85, has no height and weight table. So this is a whole life product. And that's what's cool is Transamerica, if they're morbidly obese and they bust all the rate charts, well, you can go Transamerica whole life between the ages of 45 to 85, right? Okay, in some cases, you're gonna come up with a Social Security Express debit card where the client can only pay on Social Security Express debit card. This is for calling with the phone. No, this is the check down list. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this is the check down list as for the products that are going to fit these particular situations. So you got Social Security Express debit card. Only few companies can take that card, and that would be Transamerica, and then the guaranteed issue companies like Great Western Insurance Company, I believe in AIG. They can handle Social Security Express card.
Oh, Mr. Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just asking because I was trying to figure out the person that had the guest area password issue.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to see if maybe the person is trying to log in through, like, listen through the phone.
Oh.
That's for like a passcode or something. So maybe that's what the person, that's what I was asking.
Oh, well, the passcode, yeah, okay. This really was not designed, this boot camp's not designed for over the phone, man. You're going to miss so much, although that's not a bad thing. But the login is the same login as the nine number designation, right?
Okay.
So
one quick question. I missed what is the HW? I missed that real quick. The one on the board? Yeah, what's that?
Height and weight.
I know it. Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah, so if their height and weight is
Mhm.
too heavy for term or the whole life, then
Yeah.
we go Transamerica, ages 45 to 85, the whole life for Transamerica, which has no height and weight guidelines.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Jeffrey. 556-442-251. And then Social Security Express card, Transamerica, Great Western Insurance Company, or AIG. And then non-citizen green card, non-citizen non-green card. That company, CFG, they're probably the most friendliest for people that are non-citizens, non-green card holders. All right, they just have to have a tax ID number. So these are like the lead check down and the height and situational check down just in general. So this is something that like, you don't got to memorize this. All you have to do is say, Alex, I got a client. Well, actually, you're going to run into these in the home. Now, you're going to find, like, all of a sudden, you're going to find that the client only has a Social Security Express card. And you try to write them a Forrester's Plan Right Whole Life. It's like, you're going to have to, like, hit the brakes and then show them Transamerica. I mean, and I don't know of any term products that will take Social Security debit card. I don't think. So if I have any veteran agents on the line, chat at me if there are any term products that will take that. What if they are a non-citizen and has a health issue? Yeah, that's a great question. I I don't know. I don't know if AIG will take a non-citizen. Um, that's a good question. I would call Great Western or AIG and find out if you're in a situation where they're really not in good health situation, and see if they take like someone with a tax ID number. That's what I would do. So this kind of ties up the loose ends. I wanted to kind of generally cover that because we can handle most situations. There are a few holes, man. Like if you've got someone who's under 45 that's morbidly obese, well then our go-to for anybody else is accidental death policy. Okay. And you need a health license to do that. All right.
Mr. Alex,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the product, the the product, the app that we use at Alliance, and it says foresters would take if they have a valid social security number and work visa.
Yeah. Yeah. Foresters, their
Current condition.
situations,
Mm.
foresters are a lot tighter. Like foresters, they got to have evidence that they're permanently in the country. They have to have been here over 6 months.
Okay.
I'm just saying in general, CFG is the easiest company for those kind of people.
Yes, it says as long as they have what you just said, tax ID. That's it. They're good.
Yeah. So anyway, cool. All right, man. So that's it for product. All right. All right. So we got 50 people on here. That's cool. Actually, 57 yesterday. There are probably about 10 to 12 veteran agents on the line, just kind of checking it out, making sure that I wasn't teaching them anything crazy. So maybe they'll send their new people into this boot camp week after week. Man, I just hope I got energy every week to do this. Okay, so let's talk sales. The 4 basics of selling. There's a great Brant Swindell video on my website. I think it's called The 4 Basics of Selling, and Brant does a great job explaining these. So these are the 4 basics of selling. So if you ever hear this terminology, 4 basics of selling. Number 1, pick up a check. In other words, close a sale, get them to give you their EFT information. Pick up a check or pick up the phone. What does that mean? That means that you better be calling me, your upline manager, your upline is supposed to help you. If you're in the home, you don't know what to do, you need to call us to guide you. It drives me crazy when someone tries to John Wayne it. Again, I'm using a reference a lot of you don't know. I'm just trying to like gut it out thinking that I'm going to close them or I'm going to take care of them. And then I don't pick up the phone to call your chief underwriter to get recommendations. And then you don't close or you don't take care of the client. You walk out with your tail between their legs and, you didn't take care of them, right? And the idea is we got to take care of our clients. We're not putting pressure on them. Okay, we're not putting pressure on the clients. By no means are we doing that. Okay, but we need to guide you and help you, and you need to like get rid of your ego and call us, so we can help you pick up a check. So pick up a check or pick up the phone. That's the first basic. The second basic is the emergency response system referral. Okay. That's good, man. Having the gist. Oh my gosh, you know what, dude? Donald, you hit the nail on the head. All you need is the gist of the vibe, of the feel of what we're doing. It's not memorized. It's this thing we're trying to accomplish so you can get out there and do it, because you're going to all create your own thing. You're going to create your own script. You're going to create your own way of kind of going through the ATM, like within our guardrails, but it's going to be like uniquely yours. And you're going to earn your way there, but you never get started by being there already. Okay. So the gist is, that's what we're trying to teach you. So man, very good pickup there, Donald. I like that. So ERS referral system, the third basic is annuity. Looking for annuities, annuities through the green sheet. And then number 4, recruiting. The recruiting slide. Okay, looking for other people are open-minded to do what we do, that are looking for a way to make money, or they know someone like their son or daughter who's out of work. They graduated from college, they're in, $100,000 in debt, and they don't have a job yet. And by sitting down with them, going through the recruiting slide, boom, all of a sudden we find a sharp young person, college educated, who can't get a job in the real world, or they can't get a job in their, with their accounting degree, or their psychology degree, or their history degree. Anyway, so these are the 4 basics. So if Andy Albright ever said, okay, tell me, Donald, what are the 4 basics? You know them. You better know these. Because if you don't, he's going to say, who's been teaching you? And then you're going to say, Alex Abuyuan. And he goes, oh, God, Abuyuan, what? Your people don't know. They don't know what they ought to be doing. You know what? This has been driving me crazy. So this is kind of a little bit of a segue, but I do need to teach you this. This is so important. This is like, it's called the alliance etiquette. Alliance etiquette. This will be quick. All right. So here are some of the things when you're in an open opportunity meeting. Gosh, man, I'm flashing back to my Amway days. When you're at a hotspot meeting, and if you're in a meeting with Andy Albright, you go to one of his boot camps, man, these are things you have got to learn. This is what we do. This is the cultural norms. It's kind of like in the Air Force, You got to check your gig line, right? You got to snap a salute, and your salute has to beat the other guy down. Like you saluting an officer, your hand goes down quicker than his, okay? And you got to just do it properly, right? There are proper ways to do things, the norms of our culture. So one of the norms in our culture is when Mr. Albright has you stand up and you're standing at the front of the room because he's interviewing you, or he has you stand up, hey Donald, why don't you stand up, you brand new, and he's interviewing you, saying, well, tell me about, okay. And then he goes to someone else and he asks someone else about them. You do not sit down until he tells you all to sit down. He goes, okay, why don't you all sit down? Do not sit down until he tells you to. He could have you standing up, interviewing you up in front of a room of 50, 100 people, and you just stay there until he says it's okay to go back. And you might be standing up there 30 minutes, like no kidding. And he's doing that for a reason. He's trying to get you to feel comfortable in front of people, okay? And here's how you stand. You stand with your arms by your side, just like this. You never put your hands in your pockets like that. Your hands are by your side. You're looking at, like if he's, you're looking at him, you're smiling. Okay, if you're in the audience, you're just standing there, arms at your side. When you shake his hand, you put your hand out, hey, Mr. Albright, my name's Alex Abuyuan. Let's just say it. My name's Joe Smith. I'm part of the Abuyuan team. Nice to meet you. And you shake his hand firmly, not crush, and look him in the eye. You do not test him to see if let's say you met him 10 times and you think he knows your name. Don't test him. Just say, hey, Joe Smith, part of the Abuyuan team. That's how you do it. Give him a chance to remember you. Even though he knows your name, even make sure you always say his name. When you introduce yourself at an opportunity meeting or anywhere, when you introduce yourself, I have no audio. I hope y'all can hear me. There's a way to get the web audio working. Well, I'm sure you could hear me. Anyway. So, saying that. Oh, okay, when you introduce yourself, always introduce yourself loud and proud. My name's Alex Abuyuan. Then talk about who brung you in the business, who hired you. I was hired by Mr. Andy Albright, and I'm part of the Cincinnati Hotspot meeting. Those three things: who you are, who you are, what city you live in, and actually mention your wife's name. So my name's Alex. We are Alex and Jeannie Abuyuan out of Dayton, Ohio. We were brought into the business by Mr. Andy Albright, and we're part of the Cincinnati Hotspot meeting. That's how you introduce yourself. So he brings you up and he'll say, who are you? My name's Alex and Jeannie Abuyuan from Dayton, Ohio, right? Was brought into the business by Andy Albright, who your upline is. And then you could say part of the Abuyuan team, your manager's team, and then the hotspot city. I mean, it's just, you gotta learn this. And we're under pressure to teach you this because if you don't do it right and he finds out you're on my team, guess who he talks to? It's like, hey, Bo, man, I saw some really sharp people at the meeting, but they had no clue what they were doing when they introduced themselves. It's like, crap. And then I'm gonna say, man, dude, I taught him. And he goes, yeah, I know. But my job is to make sure you learn it, not, the teaching part. I don't get credit for teaching. I get credit for you doing. Does that make sense? So that is the basic etiquette. And notice it's all about Andy Albright. He's my mentor, but there's a way we do stuff here, okay? So anyway, okay, part of the AB team. Proud. All right, loud and proud. Anyway, okay, so that was kind of a palate refresher. We're talking about sales, okay? So the first thing, and this is probably the most important thing, if there's anything I could teach, like even more important, gang, more important than the in-home sales process is you getting on the phone. You need to get on the phone to make dials, to book appointments. All right. And so I'm going to point you to resources to get you there. I'm going to talk in general about the phone call mindset and attitude. And there's a ton of stuff out there on it, but I'm going to give you just kind of a quick and dirty on that so you can kind of understand what it is about the phone call. All right. Share it. All right, so I'm going to give you some just quick and dirty basics on the phone call. Let me just say this first about the phone call is that the most important way to learn the phone call is to be around people that are actually dialing the phone. You will advance your phone skills by triple speed if you can get to a dial team. What's a dial team? A dial team is typically what a hotspot meeting will do. Usually before the hotspot meeting, they might dial the phone. Like I know out in California, they dial the phone from 2 to 6 p.m. You're gonna find the people there at the hotspot meeting dialing the phone. That's designed for you to get around them, to listen to them. Nothing like listening to someone who's got the vibe, right? The real vibe of making dials. You can hear them doing it, and you can hear them answering objections, and you can hear the confidence in their voice, and you can hear them getting shut down by people. Like good dialers will get shut down by people. They're not going to be able to turn around every objection. Okay, so I think you need to see them fail too, because then it just proves to you that, hey, you're not that far away from where they're at. It's just more time and effort. All right. So I'm going to go through some simple basics on the phone call so you can kind of understand really the mindset and attitude. Number one, you need a script. You need a script to do this. A script will help you. It's not designed, you cannot wing it, man. If I'm going to help you invest in leads, like if my subsidy on top of your leads, you better use a script. Does not respond to you winging it. There's a way to do it that we've done this for 20 years. There is a way to do it. So have a script. He's laminated. Okay, this is one of my buddy's slides, so I'm kind of taking stuff from, because he was really good at teaching this. Before you get started, read the script out loud 10 to 15 times to kind of get into the mode of, and you got to make it sound natural, of course. It's like any script. I've done theater, I've done commercials, I've done movies, in a prior life. I was a member of the AFTRA union, okay. And one thing about scripts I know for sure is that you never can act out your character unless you knew your script cold. Now, we're not asking you to memorize it, but we're asking you to be comfortable with it so it sounds natural coming out of your mouth. That's how you get comfortable with it, okay? You should practice, practice, practice. Never let the first time you read the script be in front of a potential client on a lead, okay? You got to get it out of your mouth. You got to practice with your dog, your cat, your wife, your daughter, your son, your neighbor. Just ask them if you can, hey, can I just read it to you? You can call me and practice, all right? Another great tip is record yourself doing it and then listening back to how you do it. It's so powerful to hear yourself because you will right away be able to self-correct. You'll be able to self-coach. You'll be able to see you. Like when I was playing tennis all the time, man, I would record myself hitting that ball, okay? I used like my era, I was a big Bjorn Borg fanatic. So I would do the top spin, Western grip, and I would just do then my double-handed backhand. I would record myself doing it over and over. And there's something where I could watch myself do it on a playback. It's like, dang, I messed up. I need to you know, because things creep in. Record yourself. You'll hear yourself and you'll know what to tweak. Do it again and get comfortable. Sound better. You just do it again, record yourself, listen back. Do I sound better? This is one of the most powerful things. So while you're practicing on a neighbor or a friend or your wife or your husband, keep recording it, listen back, and then tweak, tweak, tweak. Does that make sense? You got to do your homework, man. You got to get your skills. You got to get your skills going. All right. Okay, role play, call your manager, your running buddy, practice handling objections, write down the appropriate objections. I mean, we have this scripted. Actually, I forgot to add the objections. So if you re-download the script on the on that prep site, Bootcamp Prep, I think that's what it's called, abnfinancial.com/bootcamp prep. If you re-download the phone script, it should have a whole bunch of objections, and I'll show that to you. All right. It's just interesting. Once you learn how to handle objections, you'll get objections 75% less time. In other words, what that says is you get what you create. You create objections in people's minds. Like, this is just a real interesting NLP, that's that neuro-linguistic programming, psychological thing, is that you actually project your fears into other people, and then they'll reflect your fears back to you. Like, if you're afraid of not booking an appointment, you're going to project that, and they're going to not book the appointment with you because they feel uncomfortable wanting to book an appointment with you because you're uncomfortable, because you're afraid. You project, like it says here, 75% of the ejections come from you, not them. Like, I promise you, man, it's so true. So you got to learn how to handle objections. Here's another quick thing on objection, and Brent Swindell talks about this, is that anytime you, like if the client says, well, we already took care of it, and then you pause and you're trying to look up, okay, how do I handle the they took care of it already excuse? They will jump on you, man, like shark on blood. They will sense you don't know what the heck you're doing. You need to practice your objections so you handle it right away. And like one of the first things to answer objections is, oh, yeah, absolutely, that's why I'm calling. Oh, yeah, that's why I'm calling. That's why I'm calling. You cannot have a gap. If you have a gap, the client's going to smell blood, and they're going to know that you don't know what you're talking about. Confidence comes from how quickly you can answer that objection. Does that make sense, gang? That's how you know, you're not going to be perfect. NLP, baby. Oh, dude, absolutely, James. I'm an NLP freak. You cannot, you got to earn your confidence. You got to earn closing that gap by practicing, okay? By practicing. You get what you create. Okay, for dialing the fun, you need three things. You need leads, you need skill, and you need time. All right? You need leads to dial. So most of you who are on my team, and if you're on other teams, like Kyle Cater's team or Patrick Connor's team, usually we have bonus leads for you in most areas where these are leads not sold, at least from one of our agents. Could have been sold by another company or whatever, right? But you have a shot of making appointments on those. But those typically are free because, you know, if we have another agent that had been there, yeah, they could be 6 months old. You know, they could be 3 years old, okay? But we book those 3-year-old appointments. Like Andrew Peters, one of my top guys, man, he wrote like a huge amount of premium in a house on a lead that was like 3 years old. I mean, it's insane what could happen on an old lead, but it gives you a chance to practice, gives you a chance to get the words out of your mouth in a real scenario, all right? So you need leads. Now, if you can't afford, like let's say we don't have any bonus leads for you and you're short on money, you can't purchase an initial set of leads, well, then you got to do warm market. You got to practice on warm market. All right. And we have like in that website, the reference website, Bootcamp material website, we've got a way to book appointments with your friends to tell them, hey, can I come over and practice my presentation? I just got into the insurance business. I mean, I just want to practice on somebody. Can I just come over and practice with you? Okay, you're doing it with the intent to practice, not with the intent to sell them something. See, they can read that. Okay, now if they happen to want something, well, twist my arm. Twist my arm. But you're there to practice. And what's amazing is the act of picking up the phone, calling a friend to see if you could practice is great practice for dialing the phone. And then when you get over there to run your ATM in-home presentation, man, I mean, you can't find a better opportunity than a friendly face, friendly environment. They might feed you dinner even. But you got to get in front of people, man. So you need leads, okay? Now, when we're done today, literally you can, and I'm going to have you, those of you that are on my team, I want you to email my wife, Ginny, that you're ready for leads. But Alex, I'm not ready for leads. You will be ready for leads. Trust me, you need to get with her, okay? And her email address is Ginny, 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 short for Virginia, or short. That's a, yeah, it is short for Virginia. Ginny at naarocks.com. naarocks.com. Email after we're done tonight. Email that you're ready for leads. And what she's going to do, she's going to send you back a video, about a 30-minute video of her doing the lead explanation. And then she's going to want you to get back with her, and then we'll see what bonus leads are in your area. And literally, you can be out dialing for dollars, man, like tomorrow, like seriously, or Friday for the weekend. That's the idea. We're going to get you out there, man. So anyway, let's go on to the next section. Other types of leads, rework leads, okay? Typically, the bonus leads we're going to give you are going to be like rework leads, or they're called RW leads. These are usually a year or 2 years old. And if you've got an older lead, right, sometimes we go into the supervisor mode and we talk to them as if we're a supervisor following up on the person. It sounds sort of like, hey, Joe, hey, listen, sorry to bother you, but I'm the manager in the area, and I'm just following up on something that you sent us a while back. Do you remember, around the time you got your mortgage? Was that about a year or 2 years ago? Oh, yeah, I remember, yeah. Well, listen, you had sent in a form where you filled out a lot of personal information. You signed the form, sent it in, looking for some mortgage protection insurance where if you died or became disabled, the insurance company would cover your home. You might have gotten it in the mortgage paperwork, but you filled it out, signed it, sent it in. Listen, I have no record that you took care of this. And my job as the manager in the area is to follow up and make sure that, we got you covered. And so listen, I'm going to be out in your area Thursday and Friday, probably between 5 and 6 p.m. on Thursday, and I'll be there between 6 and 7 p.m. Friday. Which day is better for you? Okay, that's what it sounds like. That's kind of the, I don't know if our script is exactly like that, but that's how it sounds. It's the supervisor. You're doing a follow-up on somebody. Does that make sense? So you can go into just a very laid-back approach. And all you're looking for, gang, for all these leads, man, you're looking for nice people. Nice people. Now, they might be a nice person in a bad mood and they get on your case. Well, then, and they hang up. Well, we're going to call them back again, or we're going to door knock them. They might have been nice people, but at that moment had a bad day. Okay, but you're looking for the easy ones. Like if you've seen my video on Do Our Leads Work video, like go to my channel, look up Do Our Leads Work. It shows me doing like 2.5 hours, 3 hours of dialing old leads. And you can hear the ones that I booked that were easy and the ones I could not book. I mean, that video rocks for you to believe that it's just purely getting on the phone and dialing, man. Okay, people need people to listen to them. So whenever you ask a question, pause and listen. Don't listen. It says you listen and then you can respond. Okay, you respond to what they're saying. You don't just react to what they're saying. Never look at any objection as something that is an affront to you. It's just an indication of interest. That's the way I look at it, man. You know, I just look at it as opportunity. Everything's an opportunity, man. An opportunity to connect with them. Here's the one thing that I do all the time is the longer I keep them on the phone, the more opportunity I have a chance to book that appointment by asking questions. Anytime I've kept the conversation going by asking questions, man, you know, I'll nail it. I'll nail it if I can keep them on the phone. You're having a planned conversation. You start learning the transitions. Um, I, I like that. I get that a lot. Yeah, that's your answer to an objection. Yeah, I get that a lot. Oh, we already took care of it. Yeah, I get that a lot. That's why I'm calling. You know, there's actually a way to answer objections. There's a methodology behind objection handling, and that is, it's called reversing. So you do a pattern interrupt, reverse, and then ask them another question. So that's kind of the, you know, it's like you answered every objection. It's like, huh, that's an interesting question. That's a great question. Huh, I get that a lot. Why would you be asking that question? Why, you know, I mean, that's how you answer objections. That's kind of the quick way. I'm not going to teach that now, but I want to get you an idea of kind of the mindset and attitude. So the RW leads are the older leads. Warmed up, preheated. RW leads are cheap. You know, they're like $5, $3, and you have to go through a bunch of them. What's great about RW leads, being that they're a year or 2 years old, is that no one's calling on them anymore. All the wave of agents that had gotten that lead are not calling them anymore, and then you have an opportunity to take care of them because they haven't even thought about it. And a lot of times these RW leads, these are people that sat down with an agent. They sat down with an agent, and the timing wasn't right. They might have sat down with 2 agents or 3 agents, and they just didn't want to pull the trigger because they didn't want to. They either didn't like the person that sat down with them, or they just were not in a position really to make a decision until a year later, where all their bills got settled down. They know what they're paying for their budget now. And then you call them up a year or 2 later, and in their mind they're going, oh man, yeah, you know what? We never took care of that. Yeah, come on over. You're looking for that person. And they're out there on the RW leads. I promise you, they're out there on the RW leads. Find their concerns when you connect with them. We got tools and resources now to help you. Yeah, that's another good answer. Well, that was a long time ago. You know, I sat down with somebody, but just wasn't going to. Hey, look, Joe, we've got tools and resources now to help you. That was a year ago. You know, today we got a bunch of great companies that we're working with. I'm sure we can find something to help you out. Hey, listen, I'm going to be there on Thursday and Friday, probably between 5 and 6 p.m. on Thursday, or 7 to 8 p.m. on Friday. Which one's better for you? Okay. Well, I don't need it. That's why I'm calling. See, that's why I'm calling is always a good turnaround to fill the gap. So you can figure out what to say after that. Oh man, that's why I'm calling. That's how you fill the gap. Okay, leads, man. Okay, once you start getting more ability to invest in leads, you get to the A leads. And A leads, man, are easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You're not going to run into as many objections. You will, though, run into objections, but not nearly as many. Your efficiency will go up in booking. You're not going to be spending time on the phone. But you know what? You're investing a lot more for an A lead. The average A lead is right around $28, right? And I've spent $30, $40 for you to have it for $28. So I'm reluctant right off the bat for you buying A leads because you're spending my money too. And I don't know if I want you. I want you to get beat up a little bit. I want you to learn how to handle objections a little bit. I want you to call me and say, hey, dude, I practiced on 2 of my friends. I read the script 50 times. I really know it. I want to know that you worked on it, that you cared enough about your investment that you're going to do your homework early. And I'm not talking, waiting 3 weeks either. Man, you can practice in the evening. Like, you ought to practice tomorrow night. Like, get with Ginny, set up a time, and then practice phone dialing tomorrow night, 3 hours. Practice on your friends, practice on your kids, practice on your dog. Get it out, practice the objections. Get it where you're repeating it a bunch of times, all right? So let's go into the lead, or the phone script. And I'm going to cruise you through the phone script. All right, so I'm kind of a modular kind of guy. What do I mean by that? I could have 50 different phone scripts for 50 different situations, but the basics of the phone script, let me chart that out. So, the phone script really follows sort of a methodology. There's like it's kind of a 1, 2, 3 thing. Okay, I think. I think it's like 3 phases. There's a greeting. The greeting needs to not sound like a telemarketer. Okay, so you got the greeting part. Because people want to know who's calling, right? Like, when you get a phone call, it's like, who is this? The first thing you want to know is who's calling. And so you cannot sound like a telemarketer. Hey, Joe, this is Alex. I'm calling from the Mortgage Protection Center. And man, isn't it a beautiful day? How are you doing today? Click. They are going to hang up on you because you sound like a telemarketer. You do not want to sound like a telemarketer, man. Whoops, what did I do? Whoa, can you guys, I have no idea what I hit. Hold on. Okay. So you got to be low and slow, man. You got to be low and slow. You got to be like, hello, Joe. Hey, Joe. The one that I like to use is the familiarity one, the one where you sound like a buddy from 20 years ago. And it's really funny. I love doing that one. So my style typically is, hey, Steve, how's it going? Like, I'm thinking about my roommate from the academy. His name's Steve Jarvis. Hey, Steve, this is Alex. I mean, they're like, how you got it right is like, yeah, hey, Alex. they, you sound like maybe you know them. I love doing that. It kind of disarms them, like in a big way, So, I mean, I always have fun with doing the phone call. It's like, I don't do it like technology. It's like, hey, Joe, how's it going? Hey, Joe. I do the familiarity one, okay? But you got to start off low and slow. It's like, hey, Joe, this is Alex. I'm calling about a form that, you just very matter of fact, almost like real monotone. I like to start off low and slow and monotone, okay? And then as I pick up on the other person, I do this thing called mirror matching on the vocally. You can mirror match in the home, but you can also mirror match on the phone where you sound like them on the phone. Like, for example, if they speak quickly, you speak quickly. If they speak slowly, you speak slowly. Don't do the opposite thing where some people, they will speed up if the guy's slow because they're trying to speed the guy up because it's uncomfortable for them to slow down. You need to slow down if they're slow. If they are very slow in their speech, then you got to be extra slow in yours because you'll barely get to where he's at, you know. And here's how you know that works is because you're going to run into situations where you ever run into a situation where, man, that guy talks fast. Well, so you know how you don't like get someone who talks fast? It's like way too fast. Well, that's how you are when you're talking slow to someone who talks fast. They're thinking, man, that guy talks really slow. Okay, you got to match their rate of speed. Don't pretend like you have their accent. So if they, if they're from the South, man, and you're a Yankee, don't pretend you got a Southern accent. But you can kind of go there a little bit with their idioms and stuff they say. I try to mirror how they say stuff too. The more you can be like them vocally, the better it is for you to gain rapport on the phone, right? But the greeting has to be, you got to answer a question of who you are fairly quickly. So that's kind of the beginning of it. Greeting, hey Joe, this is Alex. Sometimes you can use I'm with the Mortgage Protection Department, or you can just say, hey, I'm calling about that form you sent in, that pre-application form. There's a lot of really good scripts out there, but you got to use the one that works for you. So there's a greeting, so they know who you are. Then I like to verify. I like to verify the information, because when I verify information, it gives me credibility with them. So they see that I've got personal information I'm talking about on this lead, right? I verify the information, and then I go ahead and I book the appointment. And then number 4, I tie it down. Kind of in here, is medications. Okay, I book and then I do medications. So that's actually medications is 4. Now, some of your upline, if you're not on my team, are going to not be down medications. And I talked about it yesterday. Mary talked about it yesterday about finding out and verifying medications. I'm all about it because if you do this first part properly, it doesn't matter if you verify medications, okay? But it helps me help you. So that's why I put it in there, okay? Now, here's the thing. A lot of these top producers forgot what it was like to be you getting started. And they're going to want you to be like them. Only problem is they forgot what it was like to be you. So they're going to try to bang on you to be like them, and then they get mad at you because you're not getting their results. That's why, how many NBA coaches you know that were great NBA players? Eric Spoelstra, was he a great NBA player? Like, no. Eric Spoelstra never played NBA basketball, but he won, with LeBron James, he won the national championship, the NBA championship. Chuck Daly, Larry Brown, Dean Smith. I mean, you can talk to all the great coaches. Nick Saban, was he a great football player? Was he a pro football player? No, man. So a lot of times these high producers don't know how to coach and train someone from jump to get started. We're trying to get you started, and this is a good way to do it, understand the medications. So this is kind of like the flow, man, the flow of the phone call. You can almost come up with your own phone script, not that I want you to, but it kind of follows this, hey, man, how you doing? Hey, I got this information. I'm trying to verify it. Listen, I'm going to be out there. Here's a couple times. By the way, before I come out there, to make the appointment short, what medications are you taking? Just real quick. By the way, I'm coming from the south. Do I make a left turn on your street or on the right? Is your house on the left or right? I'm tying it down. So this is kind of the general flow of the phone call. Like, you can do it without a script, but you got to get, always got to understand what you're trying to accomplish. What you're trying to accomplish, you're trying to find a nice person that you can serve, okay? A nice person that you can serve is someone who will stay on the phone with you when you do this properly, where you can book an appointment, okay? So, so that's kind of so let's talk about the phone script. I appreciate you hanging in there with me, because this stuff isn't the easiest to teach. in a webinar setting, particularly when I have not had dinner because I've been prepping for this, because this is really important to me that you get this. I really want you to do a good job, especially on the phone call, man. So what I did was I broke up the phone script into different beginnings, the greeting part of the phone script, because there's different situations where you use a different greeting. So the first one is a newer mortgage protection lead. It's like, hey, Joe, my name's Alex. I'm with the Mortgage Protection Department, and I'm holding a form that you filled out and signed requesting some information on paying off your loan in the event of death or disability. Okay, it's very official sounding. So let me give you sort of the scenario, okay? This will get you out of the telemarketing mode. Pretend you work for the bank and you're making 50 grand a year, and you've got a stack of these leads on top of your desk. You're not on commission, so it doesn't matter how many appointments you book. What matters is that your boss is watching you, making phone calls, and he needs to see you pulling leads down, making a phone call, pulling another lead down, making a phone call. So it's like 4:45, you got the last 15 minutes of the day, and it's like, this is boring as heck, okay? And you're just calling them up, and you're not sounding nothing like a telemarketer. You're just trying to make it through the end of the day. Like, hi, Joe, my name's Alex with the Mortgage Protection Department. Hey, listen, I'm holding a form that you filled out and you signed requesting some information on paying off your loan in the event of death or disability. With the Mortgage Protection Department. So sometimes I put that Mortgage Protection Department because it's not the Mortgage Protection Center. Mortgage Protection Department sounds like it could be at their bank. But that's kind of the mindset I want you to be in. You're the mortgage protection processor. Okay? My name is Alex. I'm with the Mortgage Protection Department. I'm holding a form that you filled out and signed requesting some information on paying off your loan in the event of death or disability. Okay, old mortgage lead. Hey, Joe, my name's Alex, and I'm a supervisor with the Mortgage Protection Department. And you probably don't remember this, but when you got your mortgage with Fifth Third Bank and you were signing all those documents shoved in front of you, you remember you had all those documents. You probably don't remember filling out a form having to do with paying off your mortgage in the event of death or disability. Well, I'm holding that form now, and our records show that we did not take care of this for you, and I just need to verify some information. Okay. Next, final expense lead. Hey, Joe, my name's Alex. I'm holding a form that you filled out and signed requesting some information on final expense burial insurance. You probably don't remember it, but let's just make sure I'm talking to the right person, and then you go into verification mode, okay? I am not trying to fight them on whether or not they remembered the lead. I'm not going to debate trying to get them to remember the lead, because then that's not why I'm calling. I'm calling to book the appointment. I'm not there to debate whether or not they remember. That's why I try not to really ask them if they remembered it. I assume they don't. I say, well, you probably don't remember it, but I need to verify the information. And you'll see how this all kind of dovetails into the second section of verification. The final expense TV lead. Hi, Joe. My name's Alex. I'm the caseworker assigned to help you. You called in requesting information on final expense burial insurance based on a TV commercial. The code word you gave us is, whatever the code word is, Bengals. I just need to verify the information that you sent in. Okay, so you go into verification mode. New marriage lead. Hey, Joe, my name's Alex. I'm with the Family Protection Center, and I'm the caseworker assigned to help you. I'm holding a form that you filled out and signed requesting some information on newlywed life and disability. You probably don't remember it, but just to make sure I'm talking to the right person, boom, you're verifying the information. General insurance, sometimes you get leads that are just more about just general insurance. Hi, Joe, my name's Alex with the Family Protection Center. and I'm the caseworker assigned to help you. I'm holding a form that you filled out and signed requesting some information on, whatever they sent the lead in for. Newlywed or, general insurance. Sometimes it'll say whole life, sometimes it'll say term. On the term insurance you're looking for, you probably don't remember it, but just to make sure I'm talking to the right person, boom, verification. Do you see how I'm just trying to keep them on the phone? I'm sounding official, and then I'm trying to get to credibility, which is the verification that I actually have something that they sent me. It's all kind of this run-on sentence. I don't try to leave any gaps in there, and I'm sounding like very normal and natural, okay? Now we get into the verification of information. So it depends on the lead. You're not going to have all the information. Like the mortgage protection lead has a bunch of information on it. Okay. Final expense might have their birth or their age, birth date or age, but I verify whatever I can verify to show that I really have something that they filled in. I'm trying to get to this part so I can get credibility so they don't hang up. That's why it has to be kind of a run-on sentence. So after that header, then you go, hey, I just need to verify the information you wrote down here. I have your birth date as 10/26/1980. Is that correct? And WFA stands for wait for answer, right? Wait for answer. Okay, I have your height and weight as 5'9", 175. Is that correct? They say yes. And you checked off here that you're a non-smoker. Is that right? Now sometimes I will mess up the date just to know that I have, and I'll say cute stuff. I'll say cute stuff like, man, I can't hardly read your writing here, but it looks like 1980. Is that a 1980 or 1960? Oh, no, that's 1980. Oh, okay. Now, it shows you 5'9". It looks like 175, or is that 275? Like, honestly, I've had someone who I thought was 275 and it was 175. That's why I use, sometimes people make their twos look like ones. And I was thinking, man, I can't cover this guy because he's too heavy. And all of a sudden I find out he's really 100 pounds lighter. That's why you do really have to verify the information so you're not going on the false assumptions when you go on the appointment. Now, I see you've checked here that you're a non-smoker. Now, I have Mary's birth date as March 3rd, 1986. Is that correct? Her height and weight is 5'4", 135. And she's also a non-smoker. Is that right? Now, I have your address as 123 Anywhere Street, Dayton, Ohio. Is that correct? Yeah. Now, if this is the mortgage lead, I always do this because, again, it makes it sound official if I have the mortgage amount. Now, I show your mortgage with Fifth Third Bank as $175,000. Were you going to pay that off in 30 years, or are you going to pay that off earlier? Okay. Again, now I'm getting to asking question mode. So I'm always in control when I'm asking questions. So the verification section is designed to do two things: get credibility with the client and to maintain control. Because when we're maintaining control, you're asking, they're telling. You're asking, they're telling you. You don't give them room to ask a question or to answer, to create an objection. You're just trying to get through the information. Now, some people come up, hey, hold on, stop. What is this again? Oh, I'm sorry. I've got a lot of clients I've been booking appointments with. This is that form you filled out. Maybe your wife filled it out. I'm not sure. But, she might have been concerned that if you died, how is she going to stay in the house with the kids? Like, really, my simple job is to just verify that I'm talking to the right family, and then, we'll help you take care of this. So let me get back to the question. What is your wife's height and weight again? I go back into asking questions. Does that make sense, gang? I stay in control. So once I verify the information, I am booking it, baby. I'm booking it. So once I verify, they answered all my questions. They've maintained this air of me in control, because now I've got them in the palm of my hand, right? Now I'm going to, oh man, I forgot to put the chat line up. Okay, so I got the chat line up. So now I book it. It's like, oh, great. Okay, great. And my simple job is to get you this information you requested It takes only about 15 to 20 minutes. They have me coming out to your area. They have me, okay, they is your boss, the people that control you. They have me coming out to your area Friday and Saturday this week, no more than 48 hours ahead. So you are not going to book 3 weeks from now. Your no-show rate goes through the roof after 48 hours, like through the roof. I'm talking, you're gonna get 80% no-show reschedule rate if you go beyond 48 hours. Within 48 hours, you should be running about, if you tied it down correctly, it should be around 75 to 80% show rate, all right? Now, if you're new, you don't know what you're doing, yes, I am driving the bus. If you're new and you don't know what you're doing, your show rate will probably be 50% or less, okay? Look, it's not bad, you're learning. So that's part of the learning process, is starting out bad and getting better, okay? So like, don't get hung up, but track it, you gotta track it. You're tracking every dial, you're tracking everything on our activity book, okay? But you're tying it now, okay, so you're booking it. So I'm going to be out there. They have me coming into the area Friday and Saturday this week. Now I can be there between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Friday, or between 12 and 1 p.m. on Saturday, which is better for you and Mary. I'm just going to tell them when I'm coming over. Actually, maybe a better way to say it is, look, I'm going to be there between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Friday. Just tell them when you're going to be there, and then they pick which one. That's much more of a closing way of asking that question. Which is better for you? And then you start negotiating which one is better. And I always try to make sure that the wife is going to be there. And I'll reconfirm, like say, well, I think that the Friday night between 6 p.m. should be fine. All right. Okay, now Mary's going to be there too, right? Like if the other spouse can't be there, man, I am not going to book that appointment. I don't care, because the one-legged appointments don't work. They do not work. Why? And don't have that attitude, well, I'm just going to practice. Like, no, man, you practice like you play. You practice like you play. Don't practice doing loser habits, right? So don't book a one-legged appointment, gang. All right, now the tie down. Tie down is very simple. They tell you when, it's like, okay, great. Now let me give you a case number. Do you have a pen? Okay. Write down my name. My name's Alex. Last name's Abuyuan. Spelled A, B as in boy, U, Y-U-A-N. See, I'm getting them actively involved in this process of booking. They're writing it down. And the case number is, you might use the last, oh man, I just tore a lead. Oh my gosh. There's a serial number on this lead. Okay, it's the lead serial number. You might use like the last, the last 6 numbers or whatever, 090359. Case number 090359, right? Because it's on the lead ID. They all have IDs on them, gang. So that's how you can identify exactly the lead that you're covering. Oh man, seriously? I can't believe how long. This is like the most important, if I can teach this, booking an appointment, the most important, by far the most important thing I can teach. So you're tying it down, the case number. Now, everyone has a GPS, but you got to ask these questions on how to get there, because you want them to visualize you coming to their house. That's why we ask questions like, now what is I'm coming up from I-75 north, and I'm thinking I'm getting off at 35. So let's say I'm coming into your house from I-35. Do I make a right or left on, Smith Avenue? What side of the road will your house be on? I'll be coming south on your road. Is your house going to be a left or right? You want them to start visualizing you coming over. And what color is your house? are the numbers on your house visible from the street? Like, is it on the garage, on the mailbox, right? And if you're coming at night, it's like, can you make sure that the light's on so I can see your house? What type of vehicle going to be will be in the driveway? Get landmarks. And it's amazing how accommodating people are by answering your questions. Because remember, you've maintained control through this whole process. You've maintained control over this whole process. Now you are getting them to visualize you coming to their house, okay? And then the medication part, this is where you you lock it down, you tie it down, the medications. Hey, great, one last thing to make this appointment short. So you're always trying to incentivize them, why it's in their best interest. People only do what's in their best interest. So, hey, great, one last thing to make sure this appointment's short or it doesn't go very long. Are you and Mary taking any medications for anything? And you write the medications down phonetically. Like I said yesterday, lisinopril, don't have them spell it out. Any major surgeries like diabetes, heart attack, stroke, or cancer, the big four. All right, so you know I'll be able to help you more. And then the last tie down is, okay, I'm looking forward to seeing you, Joe, and your wife, Mary. Hey, what time did we say again on Friday? You want them to remember and repeat back to you the time. Oh, it's like, oh, I don't remember. Between 6 and 7, right? Yeah. That kind of gives you an indication whether it's an A appointment, B appointment, or C appointment. You know, that's more refined booking skills. But that's the basic phone script, gang. That's all you got to do. And you just have to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You get better and better and better as you do it. So you're not going to be perfect. You're going to be nervous. That's why you got to rehearse it a bunch of times so that nervousness will go away. Does that make sense, gang? So that's sort of the anatomy of the phone script. And you just got to keep dialing the phone, man. So are there any questions? Can we get the script? Yeah, actually the script is on that website, abnfinancial.com/bootcamp materials, all lowercase, one word, material, bootcamp material, it's not plural. So abnfinancial.com/bootcamp material, and it's right there. In fact, let me write it down. I just want to make sure.
Hey, Alex, this is
Yeah.
Charles. Are you going to send out that PowerPoint on the leaks that you
I
could do the
can't hear
review
you
on
very well.
basics?
Say that again.
Are you going to forward out with your next link the PowerPoint on the basics that you went through regarding the leads?
Yeah, I can make it available on that website.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So these pages are not, you can't find them by searching because I took them off the web crawler, but they're not password protected either, okay? So the reference website is Bootcamp Material, right? That first page that you went to prep, it's called Bootcamp Prep. By the way, on that Bootcamp Prep page, I've got the link to our first session yesterday, the video, because I've uploaded the video. In fact, you all should have gotten that request to join an opt-in email blast list. So join that list and I will email blast you the video from yesterday, the video from today, some of the other materials that you may not have. And that's how I'm going to communicate with you based on all the bootcamp stuff that we're doing. So make sure I emailed it out to you. So you should click on that link to sign up for that email blast list. So I can just do one email blast and then you'll get it. So bootcamp material, that's where everything is. Okay. Oh, the script is golden. You know what? Here's the thing. You could use any script, but you got to do it with the same attitude and mindset, the same kind of how it's all in how you do it. You can use whatever script, but it's all in how you do it. It's kind of like an actors that play Othello. Man, you could have different ones do it. They use the same script, but they sound totally different, you know? So it's so important in how you do it. Now, I could do role playing, but I don't want to do role playing because role playing is role playing. Role playing is not real, you know? And so let me show you, I'm going to go back to that website. I want you to listen to these people that are actually live dialing. Okay, this is on the bootcamp material. Live dials. Do you see this live dials here? You've got people, when you click on it, you got people actually making dials. So here's Justin Carsonitz. Mr. Alex, I don't know if you can hear that, but. Is Sharon there? No. Is this 859-553-0054? So you can just. You can just kind of run through and listen to them do it. When I get up there to Camelot, I was on Camelot, just hit that. That's off Wilson Downey, right? So that's Justin. We've got Linda Holt. We've got Junior Correa, Kerry Williams, Paul Menachino. You can listen to how they do it. They're using different scripts, but what I'm trying to get you to listen to is just their vibe, how they're doing it, how they approach it. And you'll hear them booking appointments and you'll hear them not booking appointments. Now, you got to check out Kerry Williams. This Kerry Williams one right here, she uses the third-party approach, which is an awesome approach if you feel comfortable doing it. So instead of you calling for you, you're calling as a third party. It's like, hey, Joe, my name is Steve Martin, and I'm calling you on behalf of Alex Abuyuan. You know, you're talking about, now Alex will be at your house at, you got to listen to her do it. The reason why she does third party is that any objections she can deflect because she's not the agent. She has no authority to really answer any questions. It's like what Alex will be able to explain that to you when he arrives. You can just totally deflect it. And I really love the approach if you're comfortable doing it. Well, Alex, you're deceiving the client. I know if you're going to get moralistic on me, then don't do it. Okay? But she has less of a problem handling objections. Well, Alex, don't they hear when she comes to the house, doesn't she sound like they're going to recognize her voice? Gang, doesn't the phone compress your voice? You know, they may think, but it never happens. They don't really recognize her voice because it's a different person live. It's a really effective way of booking an appointment, all right? So let's see if we got any more questions here. Yeah, I mean, I want you to go back and listen to it, Tim. All those, man, there's hours and hours. In fact, I should actually put mine on there because mine is pretty, it's really more my script, right? Maybe I'll throw mine up there just for grins, but I called on old leads only, no A leads. A leads are much easier. So that is a phone call. So man, let's see if I can get through the ATM. Oh man. And I know you guys have booked, you've booked this time, and you probably didn't book Thursday. So we've got 50 some odd people. I don't want to mess you up, man. Okay, I'm gonna look for feedback. I can stop now, and then we can knock down the in-home appointment Thursday from 9 to 11. It'll probably only take about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, the in-home appointment. Yeah, you tell me what you want to do. If you want to like do this tomorrow night from starting at 9 o'clock, or you want me to plow through the next hour, I can do that. Or continue now. Yeah, sounds good. Tomorrow, keep it going. Folks can watch a video tomorrow.
Yeah, Alex, I'm good.
Thursday works for
I'm
me.
good either way.
Either way,
What's gonna work
good with
best for you?
Thursday. Yeah, or we could do it tomorrow and video it, and then you guys who can't make it tomorrow can watch the video too. I tell you what, because the in-home appointment is its own thing, I wanted to give the phone call, because the phone call is the most important for a new person to do right now. The in-home appointment can't happen unless you book an appointment. But the in-home appointment is really cool. I think it's the best training I do when it comes to skills, because the way I do it, I tell you what, man, I've had literally thousands of people tell me that the way I teach the in-home appointment on the ATM made the difference, all the difference in the world for them, because the way other people were teaching it, they were just teaching it from beginning to end. They're teaching it from slide 1 to slide 16, but they didn't have a framework that they were putting the pieces in, the little bump, 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 where they can go flow through it knowing what you're trying to accomplish in each step along the way. Yeah, I need to eat dinner. Kimberly, you are so kind. I've got this, anyway, I'm not gonna tell you what Jeannie has for me waiting for me, but it is, the in-home appointment is, the way that I teach it, I'm just telling you what other people have said. It's made all the difference. They wouldn't be in the Alliance had they not watched all my videos on the in-home appointment. So I think it's, I mean, I'm not bragging. I just think it's really effective, but it's like its own like ramp up mentally thing. I could go into it now, but I don't know that I'm gonna really, well, yeah, the in-home appointment, actually the in-home appointment is actually already on the website that I told you about. It's like on there, it's all on there. It's like 50 minutes. And, but I think it's gonna be really good tomorrow, because I'm gonna integrate the ERS into it. Like my previous ATM teachings, if you look on the, I mean, it's all over, I got hours and hours of it, but it doesn't incorporate the new way we're doing our ERS. It's not elegant in the way it, like I incorporate it. It's almost like kind of separate. I don't want it to be separate. So tomorrow I'm going to kind of just flow into it. All right. So, all right, cool. Well, I appreciate that, gang. And for those of you who did not allot the time for Thursday, I apologize. Again, if you sign up for the email blast list, you will get the video that you can study and learn. But again, I'm doing this every week, man. I'm going to knock this down every week. You know, maybe it will have to be 3 days, you know, because, yeah, like your attention span is only so long. I can actually, I've taught 5 hours straight without taking a break. So I know I could do it. But, you know, your attention span is only so long. So maybe it's better to just break. Yeah. Okay, thanks everybody. Hey, I appreciate you being on here. Like, I treat this very special. I think about this all day because I want to do a good job for you. And I pray before I go on that you guys, you know, that I do a good job for you. I pray in the morning, I go to morning mass. You know, I receive the Eucharist every morning to just make sure that I'm on my stuff. And so let's come back tomorrow.
Hey, hey
Yeah.
Alex, if we signed up on that email blast once, we don't have to continue to sign up on it every day when we get it, do we? Or do you want us to acknowledge that we were on the Bootcamp by signing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll know when you signed up that because I announced it, you know.
Okay.
So, so I'll reconfirm with you on the email blast, but sign up for the email blast list, please, A. Weber, and then we can be much more communicative. All right. Thanks, everybody. God bless,
All
and
right. Tell
appreciate all
Jenny
your play.
hello and happy Freedom Day for you guys.
Thank you. All right, gang. Rock on. God bless.
All right.